YouTube? In today's video, I'm showcasing all of my settings updated for the Warzone 2 Season 2 update, just to showcase to you guys exactly what you should be running after all the changes. This is also one of the most requested videos I have of all of Warzone 2. You guys are constantly asking me what my settings are and if I've changed anything every single day. So of course, with the update, I thought I'd walk back through, showcase everything I've done and everything I've been running to drop all my high kill games. But first, before hopping into anything, I want to give a huge shout out to Jordan, Phoenix, and Quickscope for having my post notifications on. If you guys want a chance to get in my next video, make sure you guys go down below and hit that big red subscribe button, as well as leaving a like and a comment saying noties. Watch full video through. But like I said, I have my fully updated settings after the Season 2 update. So without further ado, let's hop directly into them. All right, hopping directly into the settings, starting in the controller tab, because of course, as you guys know, I play controller every single game. If you guys are a keyboard and mouse player looking for specific keyboard and mouse settings, I unfortunately cannot help you with that. But for me, hopping directly into the controller tab, of course, my aiming input device is controller with the default button layout, because I do play on a scuff impact controller. Having 4 paddles on the back, I typically just use 2. That allows me to bunny hop, drop shot, loot, everything with the paddles. Super useful. For the bumper ping, I have that off. That is personal preference if you do want to run that on. I have my flip L1, R1, L2, R2 completely off as well, with the default stick layout and the controller vibration off. I've always told you guys, going all the way back to Modern Warfare 2019 multiplayer, I feel like the vibration actually affects your gameplay. Of course, this is all preference as well. If you want to run it on, you definitely can. But for me, I just feel like it's actually better to have it off. For my sensitivity, I run 7.7, which I get a ton of comments about. A lot of people think I run a higher sensitivity, but ever since Warzone 2, coming from Warzone 1, I actually turned it down from 9.9, and 7.7 just makes me feel so comfortable on the map. My sensitivity multipliers, for third person, I have 0.8. Everything else, I have 1.0. My vertical aim axis, I have standard all the way through. For my ADS behavior, I have hold. For my change zoom shared input, I have sprint, tactical sprint, focus, which I have no idea what that means. My automatic sprint, I have ATS, which actually allows me to just move my stick up and immediately tactical sprint, so I don't have to double click the stick. My equipment behavior, I have hold. My weapon mount, I have ADS plus melee. My interact / reload behavior is super important for Warzone 2. I have prioritized interact, letting me tap to loot, tap to interact with anything like doors, all that stuff. So if you guys don't have that on prioritize interact, definitely swap that if you can. And then for my armored plate behavior, I am an outlier with this. I've always ran apply 1, even all the way back to Warzone 1, which I know a lot of people love to run apply all, but for me, I just feel like I have more control over my gunfights when I have it on apply 1. Hopping directly into the advanced tab, my target aim assist is on. Of course, you need the aim assist if you're on controller. My aim assist type is Black Ops, which I know a lot of people switch back to default after Black Ops got nerfed, but for me, I just feel way more comfortable with Black Ops. My ADS aim assist is of course on. My third person ADS correction type is assist. My gyro aiming, I have everything completely turned off. I don't run this, so none of that really matters. Of course, you can run that if you want to. My aim response curve type is dynamic, which is by far the best curve type in the entire game. If you haven't looked into what all 3 of these do, you definitely need to do so. My ADS sense multiplier is 0.8, which I run across the board with my 7.7, makes it to where I could really beam long range. My ADS sensitivity transitioning time is instant. My custom sensitivity per zoom, I do have on, and I have it, like I said, 0.8 for everything across the board, unless you get to the high zooms, like 8 to 9 and high zoom overall, to where if you're at those really long ranges with a sniper, it's not super slow. For my dead zones, on my left stick, I have 0.05, on my right stick, I have 0.07, with the maximum being 0.99 on both. But one of the most important settings on your controller tab is the left trigger, right trigger. Make sure to have these both on 0 so you have no delay when you're shooting. Moving on to the movement, I have toggle off, double tap, off, 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 which is super good for your mantling so you don't randomly mantle everything you're around. For my invert, slide, and dive behavior, I have that on inverted so I can actually tap to dive. Makes you way faster on the map, and I feel like every single competitive player I've talked to all runs that. For the plunging underwater, I have movement. For the parachute auto deploy, I have that turned off. Of course, like I always tell you guys, some of these settings are all personal preference. If you don't like to have that off, you don't need to have it off. For my sprinting door bash, I have it on. For my ledge hang, I have it mantle only. Hopping into the combat behaviors, I have off, off, interrupt, which this is locked because I have it off. I have on, medium, on. Of course, all this stuff is preference. Again, random settings that don't really mean much. I have short delay and free look. And then for overlays, I have toggle, moderate, and hold. Of course, those are all my controller settings. Like I told you guys, I am mainly a controller player. I don't play keyboard and mouse, at least on Warzone. And I feel like some of those controller settings could really help you guys out, like the inverted dive, making you way faster on the map with the prioritize interact, the ATS automatic tactical sprint. If you guys don't have those settings on, you absolutely need to turn them on. But let's hop directly into the graphics settings. For my display mode, I run on full screen exclusive because I've been told by so many different people that this is how you get your best results out of your PC and for your gameplay. Display monitor, I have the Dell AW2721D, which is the 1440p 240 hertz monitor. I have an NVIDIA GeForce 4090 for my GPU. I play on 240 refresh rate, and then of course, like I said, I'm on 1440. But if we keep keep coming down, I have off, automatic, off, off, and unlimited. Of course, those are settings that you can swap around all you want, but for VSync, you definitely want that off. For your display gamma, I have 2.2 sRGB, but as you can say right here, the sRGB is if you're playing on a monitor, which most of you guys should be. The monitor makes a difference if you're just trying to play this game slightly more than casual, but sRGB is for monitors, and the BT1886 is for big TVs. For my brightness, I run 50 brightness. You can definitely swap this down to 49 if you want to. It makes a very subtle difference, but I run on 50. And then I have HDR turned off. Let's hop directly into the quality tab. I run 100 render resolution, give me exactly my 1440p resolution. For my upscaling and sharpening, I run Fidelity FX with turned it all the way up to 100. My anti-aliasing is the Filmic SMAA T2X with the normal quality, and the video scale is 80. I'll hop directly into the textures. Like I always tell you guys, I pretty much run all of these on the lowest settings. For my texture resolution, I have on low, and then from there I go low, 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 short, low, low, off, on, medium, off, nothing here, off, low, low, off, off. Of course, like I said, I told you guys, I run everything in my graphics completely low just for the best possible performance from my PC. But hopping directly into the shadow and lighting, I run normal, off, low, high, low, off. Of course, this is completely off, so none of this even matters. Then you keep on going. You have normal, low, and low. And then for the post-processing effects, I have on plus boost for my NVIDIA Reflex low latency, with my depth of field off, my world motion blur off, and my weapon motion blur completely off. I've always said this all the way going back to the old TikTok days on Rebirth. There is zero reason to run motion blur in your game. It looks absolutely horrendous. And then for my film grain, I have it completely low for 0. But that's it for my quality tab. Like I always tell you guys, I run this stuff on the lowest settings. I get so many people in my streams and in my comments saying my game looks incredible, but I don't run anything special. I don't even run NVIDIA filters, but these are all of my graphic settings, so it's up directly into the view settings. For my FOV, I run 120, which I've been running all the way back from Warzone 1 Verdansk. It gives you the best possible field of view, but also the best visual recoil, making it to where most of your guns literally do not move at all, especially if you have your ADS field of view unaffected. Make sure you guys have this unaffected and not independent, and this will make it to where none of your guns bounce whatsoever. For my weapon FOV, I run wide. For my third person FOV, I run 90, and my vehicle FOV, I run default. Of course, you can swap that 3 settings up however you want to, but the main 2 important settings are make sure you have affected and make sure on 120 or anything you feel comfortable with. For my camera settings, I run on least, third person, and game perspective. Of course, the least is very important, making to where if you're moving around the game and you're moving around the map, even though this game has absolutely 0 movement whatsoever, you don't want your camera to be shaking, you don't want your game to be shaking, so make sure you have this on least for 50%. But overall, those are all my graphic settings for the display, quality, and view. As I just walked through all 3 of those tabs, let's hop directly into the audio settings. Starting at the top, I got my PC optimized, and they told me the best audio mix for me is the PC, but a lot of people have been doing this like loudness equalizer thing recently. I personally haven't done that, but I run PC with the 60 master volume. Once you drop this down, I run 0, 20, 50, 60, and 8. Obviously all preference as well. You can have this as loud as you want to. And then as we keep going down, this is whatever you have plugged into your PC. And then for mono audio, you definitely want this turned off. If you don't know exactly what it does, I'll tell you real quick. It takes all of your directional audio and it takes it into one channel, making it to where you can't tell if they're to your left, to your right, up, down, anything. It makes everything into one channel together. So you definitely absolutely want this turned off. Subtitles, you can run whatever you want at this tab. Obviously, this is all personal preference. Same thing as voice chat as well. If you guys want that turned on, definitely turn that on. For me, for the most part, proxy chat doesn't even work for me. Microphone, of course, same thing, all that you want. And then the advanced audio settings, again, all things that you want as well. Most of the audio tab is completely personal preference, except this stuff. This can help you guys out. Obviously, test things for yourselves, see how you feel the most comfortable with it, tweak it from there, and see what gets you the best audio for your setup. But for me, that's exactly what I'm running. For the interface settings, I have my menu text size on default, my text chat text size at default. Again, all preference. Most of these settings really are. And then I have 20 short, and my color customization is actually pretty important. If you slide into here, I have filter 2 for my color filter. I have color filter target on both, with world and interface color intensity both on 100. If you go down to the element colors, I have it on custom, with all this stuff being pretty much default. But if you go to the enemy tab, you take this red, you fully max out the hue, saturation, and brightness, and then you apply custom color. And really what that's doing is allowing you to see the enemy red dots through smoke and everything way more vibrant. And then you keep scrolling down, you have subtitles again, which just like the audio ones, this is completely preference. For your HUD, I actually run this on 25/25. I used to run this on 0/0, fully zooming it into the middle of the screen, making it to where you don't have to move your eyes as far for your minimap, your ammo, your health, your HUD. Everything overall is zoomed closer into the center of the screen. But I actually swapped it up to 25/25 because in this game, when someone calls a precision airstrike or a cluster around you, it completely blocks your vision. For my minimap shape, I have it on square, which you definitely should too. There should be nobody in this game running around minimap. I have minimap rotation on, horizontal console compass on, my crosshairs on, my hit marker visuals on, my damage base hit markers on, my player names or full name, of course that's all preference as well, and then my vehicle HUD prompts is fade after 5 seconds, which is a pretty much useless setting. The telemetry, no idea if I said that right at all. I have all of this on. If you guys don't know what this is on, these 3 boxes up here are exactly what these 3 boxes are right here. For my FPS, my lag, my latency, my packet loss, kind of giving me some information about my game and how it's running. Of course, if you want to, you can run all of these if you really do, but I don't want to really clutter the top left of my screen that much. For my label size, I have it on default. For my connection meter, I have it off. You could definitely turn that on if you want to. Gameplay tips, I have on. Skip introduction movie, I have on, and then obviously from there I have off, on, off. Center dot is on, which is that thing in the middle of my crosshairs. I get actually a lot of comments about it thinking it's like my aimbot dot, but it's just something to help me center onto players around corners and everything, and the center dot is super helpful. I have it on default dot scale, and then for the system mouse cursor, I have that on, giving me the default mouse that you can see on the screen, and my operating system for the system key behavior. From there, the only tab left is the account tab. That's all of your settings. Nothing really I can help you guys with there, but overall, those are all my settings for Warzone 2 Season 2 that I've been getting so many comments about from you guys in my streams, on my videos, on my TikToks, absolutely everything, saying how does my game look so good, what are my controller settings, absolutely everything. So I'm glad I could help you guys walk through and tell you guys exactly where you should start and what you should be running. So of course, go through, try absolutely everything as like a baseline, tweak it from there to where you feel comfortable, and tell me down in the comments below if it helps you guys out at all, and if it does, hit that big red subscribe button. But that's it for the video.